I did 5 years in prison, got released, and I came back in 13 days. Came back for 20 years. Hey, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Kiko's Pain, the definitive channel of the Florida Chain Gang, where we turn bad to good and pain into progress. Today we're going to talk about recidivism. Me, myself, I did 5 years in prison, got released, and I came back in 13 days. Came back for 20 years. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about that and see how we can avoid it. Give you a little rundown. I went to prison when I was 17 years and 45 days old. April 1st, 1998. 45 days after my 17th birthday. I went to prison for 3 armed robberies in Indiana. Up until that time, me and my dog, we've been bouncing from state to state, city to city, gang banging, robbing, just a straight reign of terror, crime spree, two jits with a death wish for the most part. You know, some cities the cops are looking for us. Some cities people just wanted to kill us for what we done did. And it was just a life of paranoia and hopelessness really, because it was like nowhere left to go, where somebody didn't want to, either kill us or lock us up for a long time. And sleeping, gun under the pillow, gun right outside the shower when you showering, the door open, you wondering who it is, somebody pull up, same old mentality. But um I went to prison again on April 1st, 1998. I was 17 years old. Had cases in 3 different counties, some other stuff in other places that once these counties waived me to an adult, everything else just kind of fell away. But the point is, the relevancy in this video today is that I did 5 years. I was wild. I was crazy. I wouldn't have seen 18 if I wouldn't have been locked up. I took that same mentality to the county jail, and for the first couple years of my bid, I was still reckless, wild, attacking people. Used to getting my way. Used to putting fear into people with a gun, and my willingness to commit violence. In inside had to be replaced. Guns were replaced with other weapons or just sneak attacks or whatever it took. Um, so I went to prison, and the gang structure there mellowed my ways in a lot of ways, because you're held accountable by your brothers. And I was kind of the younger guy in the group, and hanging around these older gangsters, it really kind of molded me, helped me, understand what it was like to move as a gangster. You know what I'm saying? And not just reckless, because you run around with your head cut off like that in prison, you're gonna do nothing but bring heat on your brothers, and that's not gonna end well for you. So um through it all, I came in my young, immature mind, I came to a conclusion. I came to understanding that, okay, this lifestyle, it's not no long term lifestyle. It's not. This isn't a game. It's robbing and gang banging and doing stuff to people. This isn't a game that you can win. Nobody can win it. It's gonna catch up to you, and you just gonna be. It's gonna be your turn to get got. And so I understood that, and I was reconciled to the fact that, nah, when you get out this time, it's got to be different. But I hadn't completely given up on the thought that crime could still pay. I just kind of minimized the type of crime. Like, you know what? I'd sit there. I had an older homeboy, my dog Tail, out of Gary, Indiana. We'd sit there. He's about 7, 8 years older than me. We played ball together. We worked out together. We smoked weed together. This is my dog. We bid it together. You know what I'm saying? For years. We got out within around 6 months of each other. So, we chop it up, smoke, and talk about the future. And uh, like we say, like, oh man, I just sell weed. I'm gonna sell weed, hustle, just get my money up. Or maybe I'll just hit one lick. If a lick being robbery for anyone that's, unfamiliar with the vernacular, maybe I just hit, man, sweet lick come along, man, I'll just hit a lick. And man, I'll take that money and I'll use that to invest in a normal life, with a vehicle or a place, and just, become legit. And these are the types of conversations we would have. It was understanding the damn. Got to tone it back a little bit, but still thought that, there was something to be had. I mean, that there was a shortcut. The shortcut of crime was a viable option. So, fast forward, I ended up doing 4 years and 9 months, just under 5 years on this 10-year sentence that I received up in Indiana. Back in those days, you did 50%, plus you had time cuts, etc. So I got out in 4 years and 9 months. December 17th, 2002, I'm released from the Indiana Department of Corrections, Westville Correctional Facility. And my mother's there to pick me up, and we're coming straight back down to Florida. And up until that point, I had been led to believe from basically up to 6 months out that there was $3,000 in a savings account for me, and that we had a place of our own to go stay over here. And okay, I made all my plans based on that. Okay, I got the $3,000, I could do this. I'm gonna be staying here, so blase squaze. Well, when I get in the car, I find out that none of this is any longer true. This money has been spent, and this place is gone. That my mother was staying at this spot, someplace in the middle of nowhere, no opportunity, nothing going, just a bad spot. I've been there before, spent time there before, and there was nothing going on there, no positivity, no progress. And the thought that I was gonna have to go back there, basically broke, it was a little too much for my young formative mind that was just beginning to consider the thought of legality in a normal life. It was just too much. It was the rug was snatched under my feet, and Plan A immediately got tossed for Plan B. And Plan B was the old Plan A: get it how you live, by whatever means. And so I took the little couple $100s I had, bought some dope, crack, um, began hustling. Again, we was out in the middle of nowhere basically, so wasn't a lot of money, but it was some money coming in, hustling. I immediately get my mom's gun, a little Raven 25 from her. Hey, ma, I need this for self protection. Boom. So now I got a pistol. I'm out on probation. I got 5 years probation up in Indiana. I'm a felon in possession of a firearm, but it is what it is. I mean, you ain't out there in the streets without it. And shortly thereafter, I get me a shotgun, sawed off, give me an SKS. Now I'm strapped, I'm ready. I got me a chopper, I got me a shotgun, I got a pistol, just keep in my pocket, and I'm out there. And before I go any further, it's just one of these points. The point I want to make in this whole video with my experience is just the way that you think that you can dabble. If you think you come from the streets, you've been in the streets, and you've committed crime, and that's a lifestyle that you've lived, and then you're incarcerated, and you think that you can have just small interactions with that old lifestyle, that you can just dip your toe in the water, and that you ain't gonna get snatched in there bodily. That's the biggest deception that we could play on ourselves, because I thought, okay, I don't have anything, I need to get up out of this place, I need to get where I want to be and get something positive happening. I still told myself, no, I want to live a legal life. I just got to get my own vehicle. I got to get a place over here where I can make something happen. And I just need to get a little bit of money. But it's just like a crackhead or alcoholic thinking that they could take one hit, take one drink, and then they're going to be okay. And then they can leave it alone and go on. Just like a crack addict is addicted to crack and an alcoholic is addicted to alcohol, street people, to use a phrase, are addicted to the streets and that street life. And the moment I was out here, even though I really didn't have no, hella money, dope, or anything, the fact all of a sudden, yeah, I got some new clothes because I'm fresh out the joint. I got some cash, and then $500-$600 in a pocket full of crack, nicks, dimes, and nicks. But all of a sudden, this low level environment I found myself in, people looking at that like, oh damn, Kiko, look, he doing his thing, he doing his 1-2, he fresh out, man, he making plays already. And in my immature mind, of course, this is the type of things that you want people to think about you, even though I knew in reality how flimsy this veneer was of success. It was nothing. I'm just sitting here, you know, barely reing up. But in my mind, all of a sudden, that whole fast life where money's coming, people are recognizing you being that guy, even if you're not really that guy. It's an addiction, and I fell victim to it. And I fell with each moment that I was interacting with criminals and committing crimes. I fell deeper and deeper until I was almost all the way back into the mentality that I had left before, and to the point where now I'm driving. I got a chopper over here in the passenger seat. I'm drinking. I'm speeding. I don't got my seatbelt on. I got crack in my pocket. I'm just a rolling felony. The cops stop me. I mean, I'm out here. Best case scenario, I violate probation. I'm doing 5 years. That's without all this extras. But now I got a gun. That's another five. I got this. I got that. But my mind. It's not even computing. Someone said to me in the moment, "Damn, bro, you ain't scared to go back to the joint?" And I shuddered like, "Go at the joint? Crazy? I ain't going back. That's you crazy." And that's like how so many of us think. And so after the money was a little slow in coming, this little dope money is coming too slow. It's coming too slow. I'm out here. I need to buy clothes. I need to do this. I'm the center of the party now, so I gotta buy the drink. I gotta buy the weed, whatever. And so this money ain't stacking up like I needed to. So of course I'm a jack boy. That's always the first option. The easy button. I gotta hit lick. I gotta hit lick. From the first moment, I'm researching on who worth robbing around here. You know what I'm saying? Where the sweet lick at? And so so I come up with a scheme. Some guys selling pounds. They gonna be my victims. You know what I'm saying? 5 pounds. If I get at least. I'm telling myself I at least get 5 pounds of weed. I can flip that real quick for the low, and I can have me a little nest egg, and I'm up out of here. But these dudes is careful. They know about, without getting too much into the details of all the specifics, I needed to do in between lick to have the cash to go pull that lick off because it involved some setup that I didn't have the money for. So while we meet somebody, she knows some dudes that touch ecstasy, and she's willing to set them up for a robbery. So we set this robbery up. All I'm thinking is, okay, we're gonna do this little robbery. I'm gonna take all the money I get from this robbery, and I'm gonna use it to set these other fools up for the cash out robbery that I'm looking for. And so we load up. We're not thinking about nothing. But hey, let's do this. Let's come back. Simple, easy peasy. So we think we're going to rob some drug dealers, which we are. But it's not as simple as that. We follow the guys to the place. We jump out. Pull guns on them. Think it's just gonna be easy robbery right there. But they don't have the pills on them. So we load them up, put them in the car, catch a kidnapping charge, drive them down the street, take them up into a house, armed burglary. Who's in the house? Ain't nobody in the house. Okay, cool. Cause keep it real with you, in this time in my life, if you was a criminal, if you was a gangbanger, if you was a drug dealer, if you in the streets like that, you signed up for the same thing I signed up for. And we play, there's certain rules. There ain't no rules. You can get got, anything can happen to you, it don't matter. But I've never been the type to victimize innocent people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go snatch some grandma's bag. I'm not gonna do. Even in my worst, I wasn't robbing innocent people. I wasn't doing anything harming innocent people. You know what I'm saying? It was either gang on gang violence or it was robbing drug dealers, etc. And that's how complicated this in particular night. We take these fools back to the house. Nobody's supposed to be in there, but we walk up in the door, and there's some 50-some-year-old woman, older man, and instantly things get complicated. Me, if I was smart, I would immediately just turn and cleared it then. But it wouldn't have mattered. I've spent 20 years reliving this night, thinking if I would have did this, if I would have did that. But the fact of the matter was, the way I was living, I had to go back to prison at best, if not get killed. You know what I'm saying? And so I was either gonna go back to prison for what I went for, or it's gonna be worse. Because I was playing with life sentence stuff. PBLs, punishable by life, as they say in Florida the whole time. And so I come up in the house. There's really two options: turn around and leave, or just go all out, lay everybody down, duct tape them, get what you came for, and leave. But my hesitancy to involve civilians made me half step between the two. And a part of that, I don't want to sound like I'm totally virtuous. A part of that was just knew if I involve these people gonna involve the police. When you're robbing other criminals, generally that don't happen. So there was that, but there was also the fact that I'm not looking to traumatize or do nothing to anybody that ain't signed up for this. So I try to play it cool. And without going into the whole long story of the robbery, I still go through with it, but without laying everybody down, duct taping everybody, go through with it, get what we came for, or at least we thought so, get back in the car, flee the scene. These people, of course, call the cops because these people don't know. They don't even, the dudes we was robbing, the people at the house didn't even know that they was criminals. Long story short, that's not the issue here. Fact of the matter was, I never made it back home that night. On the way back, cops run down. You know, we do what we do. I take them on the run. Eventually get caught. All kinds of PBLs, punishable by life felonies. In all, I'm facing 4 life sentences plus 20 here, 15 there, 10 there, 5 there, just stacked up. Never get home. Not to mention I'm out from 3 armed robberies on probation. So this PRR stuff that they came in Florida, I didn't even know. I'd never even been sentenced as an adult in Florida. They want to put this PRR stuff on me because it's applicable to anybody in the country, wherever you first came to prison, went to prison at. So, long story short, I get 20 years. But it's not really the specifics of my case that matter here. If it did, I go in more detail and we go blow for blow. The importance is the mentality, the tricks that we can play on ourselves. When I got locked up. I went to prison for a robbery. I seen what the consequences were. I lived years of incarceration. And still in my mind, I thought I could play with it. I could I still thought that I could do certain amounts of crime. I didn't come to the conclusion that if you don't ever do the crime, they're not gonna come after you, you know? And we're not gonna get into people getting framed and nothing like that. Generally speaking, if you don't commit crimes, you're not gonna get arrested, you're not gonna get locked up. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. You ain't gotta lay in bed stressing. I ain't come to that conclusion, you know. I guess it wasn't enough. I don't know. You know what I mean? We could sit there and debate about how much time is enough time, but it all depends on the individual. You know, I know people that did months that got their mind right immediately. People that done did decades that still don't have their mind right, and everything in between. All I knew is when when they had me arrested and had me in the back of that cop car, and I was sitting in all the weight of what I just did drop on me like a ton of bricks. It was like, it felt literally like somebody had kicked me out of the moment I walked out of prison. Somebody had carjacked me in my own brain, jumped in the driver's seat, whew, took off, and then bam, 13 days later, crashed into the pole, got out, left me in the car, broke up, dealing with the consequences. But I didn't even. It's like the clarity that I had before I got out, it was gone, you know, and I'm sure I could explain that way better, but it is what it is. My warning today, really, what I want to bring to you is that if you've been to prison before, if you fighting cases right now, if you in prison with a cell phone watching this, whatever, if you don't want to go back to prison, don't do nothing. Stay out the streets. It's not worth it. You gonna go? I mean, it might sound like, oh yeah, all right, lay all that down. So, man, I did 24 years in a joint. You know, all the stuff that people talk about, all this Like whether it's the music or all these people on the internet that's just like celebrating this gangster life, this street life, this fast money. I mean, that's everything that I live for. That's all that I was about my whole life, and I suffer for it. I mean, one thing I learned is that the people that's living like that, there's only two places for you: the joint or dead. That's where it's gonna end up. That's where you going. That's it. And if you cool with that, and you want your name to ring bells for just a little bit, like maybe you die in some sensational death that they talk about on YouTube for a couple of days. Hey, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? But but just understand right now that that's what you're gonna get. That is the end of your story. What it boils down to is this: if you about to get out of prison, or you just recently got out of prison, you can't go back to rocking with them people that's still living like you was living. You can't go sit there and think that you gonna be able to withstand that. It's like an alcoholic at a bar. I ain't gonna drink. I'm just gonna drink water. Yeah, you might do that for a little while. Come on, we got natures. You know what I'm saying? We gotta understand who we are, and who's around you influences you. That's like the biggest thing that I learned in a joint is that if you want to be a certain way, you want to get a certain place, you gotta rock with people that's already like that, that's already made it there, or well on their way there, and they gonna bring you along if you doing what they doing. But if you rocking with people that's doing the opposite, you gonna get the opposite. You need to learn from the people that's at where you want to be, not the people that is where you already was. You know what I mean? So that's like really my lesson for the day. Don't play with it. You need some new friends. You need new surroundings. Don't let people that cause you was friends, y'all were like that. So you gonna give up your life because they don't care about us because they ain't learned that yet lesson yet. You know what I mean? That friendship. I mean, you can be friends from a distance because if their lifestyle ain't what you want or isn't the route to where you want to be, you need to go on ahead and keep it moving. Find people that's living like how you want to live and learn from them. Take guidance from them. And I ain't gonna just sit here and drag this on. Now, I hope you stuck around for the more of the story. But I wish everybody the best. I hope y'all pull a little kernel of something from this. And if you out there, man, I'm just saying, don't be in a joint regretting your second chance squander. There's all types of life out here. All the things that I used to value, now I realize that stuff was nothing. Let's just stay out here. Let's follow our dreams. Let's make goals. Let's get to them. 20 years was my best case scenario. Don't let it be yours. Y'all stay blessed.